my life, my professional life as an early childhood educator, and I've been teaching children from the age of 3 to 8 for 15 years. I had been. And then after I had 5 of my own children, and I was teaching children and coming home to my children, I just felt there were too many children in my life. And I needed to step up the age a little bit and start working with adults. So I went to college and I did psychology, and then I studied psychotherapy in the United States. And I've been working as a clinical psychotherapist for going on 18, 20 years. But that took me to another level as well. And during the time that I was working, of course, I was also a mother and a daughter. So let me tell you about the protagonists in Looking for Lionel. Lionel is my father. And one of the things that my mother started to do more and more as she developed dementia in her life was looking for her rock, for her knight in shining armor. And she would constantly say, "Where's Lionel, where's Lionel, where's Lionel?" And so I felt that that was an important title, but I didn't realize until the very last chapter in the book, which I won't spoil for you, but I didn't realize that that was not the only reason I wrote Looking for Lionel, because I myself had found something that I didn't even know I was looking for until my father appeared in a different way in my life. The other person in the story is my mother, Leslie. Now, I've called her Mum, obviously, all my life, but my father's called her Leslie, and yet she wasn't born Leslie. She was born Lily, and she was born in Glasgow in Scotland, and she grew up during the Second World War, as many people did of that age, and her father became ill in the last years of the Second World War. Now, a little bit about my mother, and I'll tell you more about her later, but she loved to kick up her heels and party. She was a party girl. And when her father went to hospital, she didn't believe this was as serious as it was. And although people, her friends, her family were saying, "You should go see your dad," and actually my mother was my father's favorite, my grandfather's favorite, she just didn't. And of course, the inevitable did happen, and he died. And the grief, but the guilt and the shame overwhelmed her. And she was hearing her father call her from different rooms in the house until my grandmother said, "Darling, why don't you go to Australia for a holiday? Get on the boat, go and see your auntie and have a break." So she did. She got on the Orion in 1945 and sailed to Australia. But on that boat, she decided she had to leave Lily behind. And so she changed her name. She changed her name to Leslie, and she did what many women seem to want to do nowadays. She took a number of years of her age, 7 to be exact. My father has always thought she was 12 years younger than him, and he prided himself on such a young bride. Until one day he rang me, and he said, in a really upset tone, "Your mother's not who she said she is." And I said, "What do you mean?" "I've just found her birth certificate, and her name's Lily." And I said, "Oh, Lily, that's a beautiful name." He said, "But that's not the worst of it. She's not the age she told me." And I said, "You know what, Dad, you've been married 56 years. Maybe you can let it go." Actually, they'll have been married in October 60 years, and it was a milestone that my father so wanted to reach. And although my mum won't know and won't really have a lot of awareness around that day, we do. And we will celebrate with my father and mother in a couple of weeks' time their 60th wedding anniversary. The other person is my sister Donna, and Donna is very much part of this book. You know, one of the things that happen when dementia enters your life is that all the unspoken issues that were occurring in your family suddenly just bubble up. And some of the issues are so pleasant. So Donna and I struggled quite a lot during those years because we had different beliefs in what was best for our parents. And we needed to come to some sort of peaceful resolution. And as we did that, we started to heal some of the old issues that had been dormant in our life. So let's talk a little bit about statistics and then moving on to something else. I just want to posit dementia in a framework for you. At this point in time, there are 35 million people living with dementia worldwide. Here in Australia, we have 280,000 people with dementia. And if you multiply that by one person who might be a carer, you're going to